Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story that came out in France 24. Now, we know the French have a lot of stolen art that came out of Africa. Well, Belgium is the same situation. They have Belgium's Africa Museum, and it features all of the art that they stole out of the Congo and other parts of Africa and placed in their museum. And again, if it wasn't for the African art, these folks' museums would practically be dead. Okay, the African art is what makes their museum. It's showing the European art. As I stated before, nobody's going to get in their car and go look at European art. Okay, but they will gladly go and look at African art. So the museum went through a 5-year renovation, ladies and gentlemen, and it reopened after being closed for 5 years. Now, a lot of people complain about this museum because it features all of this art, all of the wildlife, stuffed animals and stuff, but they ignored all of the brutality that was done by King Leopold II, where the troops collected hands of those that resisted slavery, and millions of Congolese people were killed. Millions were killed when King Leopold was there. Many of the artifacts remain in Belgium, and just like Benin is asking the French for the art back, Congo, they are asking for the art back too. And I'm not surprised that these Europeans have done everything they could to ignore the ugly history that's attached to this art that they stole out of Africa, didn't pay for one dime of it. But that art represents African culture. It doesn't represent anything European. They have no attachment to the art other than the fact that they stole it, and they have this art in museums all across Europe. Okay. So, they're trying to sugarcoat it, but there is no sugarcoating this whole thing. They will forever be stained with the ugliness of what King Leopold did. And it's a stain this country will never be able to wash away. And, they said there's a plaque that reads, when you walk in the rotunda of this museum, there's a statue, remains of European missionary with an African boy clutching his robe, with a plaque that reads, Belgium brings civilization to Congo. Let me tell you something. You Europeans didn't bring civilization anywhere. You didn't bring that anywhere. Okay? Those people already had a life before you showed up. And y'all need to stop telling them fake out stories about no language and swinging on trees. Nobody believes you. Number one, we look at how you behave. None of y'all act like you're civilized. Okay, so how the hell did you civilize the world? Look at the murder rate in all of these countries combined. You're not civilized. The rape and the child molestation and sleeping with animals and all that stuff, that's not civilized. But that shit goes on all across Europe. And you know what? They got animal brothels over there, but that's civilized, right? Get the hell out of here. Y'all didn't civilize nothing. Many Belgians remain ignorant of their country's harsh rule. And now the Democratic Republic of Congo in the late 19th century. Even though Belgium's colonial past made the small European country one of the most successful trading economies. So, yeah, it became a trading economy off of the backs of Black people. Okay, never forget that. Just like America gained all of her wealth. That's why when you go back and look at the history, each and every one of you, when you get a chance, type in slave economy, because every dime these folks made came out of slavery. They didn't call it nothing else. It was called the slave economy right here in America. In Belgium, every dime they made it off of the misery of those Black people in the Congo. And there's no detaching yourself away from it. If you were really, truly a smart people, you would have rose up without anybody's help. But you didn't do that. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and listen to this video.
Troubles brewing between Belgium and the Republic of Congo with the reopening of a museum dedicated to Central Africa. It was supposed to be a new chapter in relations between the two countries, but some have lashed out at the museum, given Belgium's brutal colonial history. Congolese President Joseph Kabila is demanding the return of items seized during that era that are on display in the museum. When first established, the museum was supposed to shine a light on the imperial might of Belgium, showcasing the best artifacts from the African continent. 7 Congolese died there in 1897 after being put on show as living exhibits. The museum now says its focus is more on the works of African artists, but it still has thousands of items looted from the Congo, including the skulls of tribal chiefs. Despite 60 years of independence, the horrors of the Belgian rule are still remembered there. A warning, the next clip contains some disturbing content. In a statement, the museum acknowledged the mistakes of the past. Visitors on opening day were divided over the controversy.
It's really interesting to see our cultural history.
I think because of the fact that the museum is still managed by white people who are still in power, that it is still a white vision on the colonial past.
It's a new vision of Africa. It's different to the one that existed when I was a child. I'm going to discover it.
I used to come here as a child, so I'm curious to see the renovated museum. I don't feel concerned by the controversy.
I think it's okay that these artifacts are here in Belgium. A museum is a museum. It allows us to see what happened.
The Friends of the Congo advocacy group believe that in order for a new chapter to open, all the looted artifacts have to be returned.
You have a situation where through Belgian colonialism, European colonialism, they destroyed African societies. And now that we've gotten to a point where Africans are making the demand, they come and say, well, you don't have the infrastructure to accommodate the materials that we've looted. In order for a new chapter to be opened, the thousands of artifacts in the museum need to be returned to the Congo. That's fine. They can advance, expand the museum and have other artists, other artifacts. However, the primary concern is the return of the cultural legacy of the Africans.
RT's documentary on how colonial rule has impacted on the African country will be playing throughout the day. You can also watch Congo, My Precious, anytime online on our website, rt.com.
Okay, so you see right there, all of that art that you saw, that was all done by African people. All of it. Okay? No, it's not okay that Belgium get to see that art more than the people in Congo where it came from, the offspring of the ones that created that art. No. And how dare you come on there talking about, I think it's okay that it's over here in Belgium. No, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. And you shouldn't be entitled to see that art more than the offspring of the children of those artists that sit there in the Congo. They should be the one looking at that art. And as far as, well, you don't have nowhere to put it, screw that. Send it back anyway. Let them figure out where to put it. That's not your place to worry about where they're going to put the art. It ain't yours. Always trying to come up with some stupid argument. It doesn't wash. The bottom line is it's not yours. I don't care if you got to send back 3 million pieces of art. Send it back. It's not yours. Let those folks figure out what to do with it. That's up to them to worry about where it goes once it's back in Africa. What the hell do you care? Please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to just hit on that notification bell, like the video, share the video. Whew, this gets my blood boiled, y'all. Peace, family.